Hello, my dear. Every move you made was so precise, so mercilessly clean, that people don't even call it strategy anymore. They call it cold-blooded brilliance. They whisper that no human should be able to operate at that level of clarity. What you executed wasn't just a victory, it was a dissection. You didn't argue, you didn't flail, you didn't even give them the pleasure of seeing strain on your face. You cut through chaos the way a scalpel cuts through tissue. No wasted motion, no unnecessary words, only decisive action that left observers in awe and enemies scrambling for excuses. What unnerves them isn't just the outcome. It's the manner in which you reached it. Too sharp, too efficient, too surgical. So exact that it doesn't look like effort. It looks like inevitability dressed as intellect. And that frightens them, because people are comfortable with wins that look messy, with struggles that seem relatable. But when someone like you executes perfection with icy precision, it rewires the definition of possible. It makes everyone else look clumsy by comparison. You weren't supposed to be this composed. You weren't supposed to carry this much calculation behind your eyes. They wanted you reactive, emotional, sloppy. That's how they beat others. They wait for mistakes, missteps, cracks. But you didn't give them any. You moved like you already knew the outcome before the first move was made. And in a way, you did. Because your intelligence isn't theoretical. It's lived. It's scar-forged, failure-tested, honed in the fires of situations designed to break you. Every humiliation, every setup, every betrayal you endured, none of it went to waste. You absorbed it like fuel, cataloged every detail, every behavioral pattern, every tell. And then, when the time was right, you converted all of that into something terrifying. A flawless execution that appeared effortless, but was secretly the result of years of preparation, disguised as endurance. That's why they're calling you something beyond human. Because what you did doesn't feel explainable through ordinary logic. How can one person move so fluidly, with such ruthless calm, while others stumble? How can someone take an environment designed to suffocate them and turn it into their personal proving ground? They can't process it, so they reach for the only explanation that satisfies their fear. You must be something else, alien, augmented, wired into a frequency they can't access, and in their panic, they're right. You are tuned differently. You are calibrated for depth they can't breathe in. You are built for levels they don't have the stamina to withstand. What looked like a sudden eruption of brilliance to them was actually the slow crystallization of mastery. And the sharpest crystal always looks cold, detached, unfeeling, because perfection doesn't show the mess that forged it. Understand what happened in the moment you stepped forward. It wasn't just that you outperformed them. You dismantled the entire scaffolding their confidence rested on. They thought you'd be predictable, easy to read. They wrote entire narratives in their heads about how you'd respond, where you'd crack, what you'd choose. But you didn't follow their script. You shredded it, word by word, in front of their eyes. That's why they're still reeling. They weren't just beaten. They were exposed as unimaginative. While they recycled the same tired strategies, you were operating from a blueprint they couldn't even see. And when people realize their entire plan was useless, when they confront the fact that they had no defense against your foresight, they don't just lose the game, they lose belief in their ability to play at all. Your cold-blooded brilliance was never about cruelty. It was about precision. And precision, when displayed without apology, terrifies people. because it strips away their excuses. They can't say you were lucky. They can't say you stumbled into success. They can't even accuse you of cheating, because cheating looks messy, desperate, frantic. What you did looked inevitable, clean, flawless. That means the only explanation left is the one they hate the most. You're simply smarter, sharper, and more dangerous than they ever imagined. And that realization, as it infects them long after the battle is over, it creeps into their sleep, it stalks their thoughts, it replays in their memory until they can't escape it. They don't remember the details of what they tried. They only remember how easily you erased it. Let's examine why people can't stop replaying your performance. It isn't just about the result. It's about the aesthetic of it. The way you moved without hesitation. The way your words carried weight without excess. The way your presence altered the environment before evidence was even presented. You didn't fight for control of the narrative. You embodied it. And when someone embodies control, everything they do takes on an aura of inevitability. That's why people keep describing you as cold. Because when brilliance is displayed without visible strain, it feels inhuman to those who live in chaos. To them, mastery looks like cruelty. To you, it's just discipline revealed. The brilliance wasn't loud, it wasn't theatrical, it wasn't desperate to be noticed. That's why it hit harder. People expect brilliance to come with fireworks, declarations, spectacle. But true mastery rarely does. It comes with precision, with timing, with the quiet confidence of someone who doesn't need approval. That's what unsettled them. They wanted to feel superior while you clawed for scraps of recognition. Instead, you walked in like recognition was irrelevant, like the outcome was already written, and you were just here to collect it. That level of calm cuts deeper than aggression ever could. Aggression burns out. Calm, precision, endures. When you finished, you didn't just win, you created an aftershock. The people watching began recalibrating their understanding of what's possible. Because if one person can operate at that level, what excuse do they have for stumbling? What excuse do they have for playing small, for accepting mediocrity, for calling sloppiness normal? Your presence became a mirror, reflecting their inadequacies with brutal clarity. And most people can't stomach that. That's why they deflect, calling you cold, inhuman, too much. Those aren't critiques, they're confessions. They're admitting they can't reach your level, so they label it unnatural. Here's the deeper truth. You didn't even reveal your full capacity. What they saw was only one chamber of the arsenal. You've learned that brilliance is most devastating when rationed. Too much at once and people adapt. But a glimpse? A single demonstration delivered with surgical accuracy? That haunts them. Because they start imagining what else you're capable of, what you haven't shown, what you might unleash next. And fear always grows in the spaces left unspoken. That's why your restraint amplified your victory. Not only did you destroy their plans, you left them terrified of a power they haven't even seen yet. Your intelligence operates like a weapon designed for psychological warfare. You don't just defeat enemies, you rearrange their understanding of themselves. You make them realize that their strategies, their manipulations, their games are primitive tools in the presence of your precision. And once that realization lands, it doesn't fade, it lingers. It makes them cautious, hesitant, second-guessing every move. They start questioning whether any tactic can work against you. And that doubt is more powerful than any single win. Because once someone doubts themselves in your presence, they've already lost. Notice how your brilliance reshaped the environment around you. Friends, family, bystanders, they all saw it, and their perceptions shifted permanently. Some felt intimidated, some felt inspired, but no one felt indifferent. That's the mark of true cold-blooded brilliance. It polarizes. It doesn't leave room for neutrality. People either step closer, hungry to learn, or they retreat, terrified of what standing near you might reveal about their own inadequacies. And that's exactly how it should be. Because brilliance isn't supposed to make everyone comfortable. It's supposed to redefine the standard. It's supposed to divide the room between those who can rise and those who can't. The way you delivered this victory also rewired your reputation. Before, people underestimated you, thinking your restraint meant limitation. Now they know better. They know restraint was strategy. They know patience was preparation. They know your lack of theatrics wasn't weakness. It was efficiency. That's why the conversation around you has changed. They don't describe you as trying anymore. They describe you as untouchable. And once that word attaches to your name, it doesn't let go. Untouchable doesn't mean unchallenged. It means undefeated, because even attempts to challenge you only highlight your superiority. Your cold-blooded brilliance became a reference point. Every future conflict in your circle, every strategic play in your sphere, will be measured against what you accomplished. People will whisper, "Remember how they handled it? Remember how clean it was? Remember how nothing could shake them?" That memory becomes armor. It follows you into rooms you haven't entered yet, into conversations you'll never hear. It precedes you like a shadow of inevitability, and the beauty is, you don't have to do anything to maintain it. The legend grows on its own, feeding off the fear and awe of those who witnessed it. Understand that this isn't just about one win. This is about a new category of existence you've carved out for yourself. You've proven that brilliance can be cold, that power can be clean, that victory can be delivered without chaos or spectacle. And that proof is more disruptive than any single triumph. Because now, predators who thrive on manipulation and drama have to reconsider everything. They have to wonder if their next target might be another version of you. They have to weigh the risk that their games might collapse in the face of someone operating with surgical precision. You've injected fear into their playbook, and once fear takes root, strategy disintegrates. That's the mark you've left. That's why your brilliance is haunting them. Not because you screamed, not because you celebrated, not because you sought recognition, but because you executed with a level of precision so rare, so alien to them, that they can't explain it away. And when people can't explain something, they mythologize it. They call it inhuman. They call it cold-blooded. They call it brilliance, because they can't call it anything else. That's what you've become. The embodiment of precision so sharp it feels unreal. And the truth is, this is only the beginning. What comes next is not repetition, it's escalation, because brilliance, once revealed, doesn't retreat. It multiplies, and the world is only beginning to witness what you're capable of. Escalation begins with perception. Right now, the story of what you did is no longer confined to the room where it happened. It's spreading outward like a current, reaching ears that never even met you but are already reshaping their opinions. People are replaying your moves in conversations, in whispered retellings, in late-night confessions. They're dissecting your composure like scientists trying to decode a specimen they can't classify, and the more they study, the less sense it makes to them. Because brilliance that looks this clean, doesn't fit into the categories they've built for human behavior. To them, intelligence always shows strain. Calculation always reveals effort. But your execution didn't look like effort. It looked like inevitability dressed as intellect. That contradiction is driving them mad. It's why the narrative is mutating. At first, they tried to downplay it, calling it luck, coincidence, or timing. But the problem with luck is it never looks this exact. Coincidence doesn't dismantle structures this deeply. Timing alone doesn't rewrite reputations in a single strike, so they had to abandon those excuses. And what they were left with was the one explanation they never wanted to admit. You are operating at a level beyond theirs. That's why they're calling you cold-blooded. That's why they whisper you're not human. Because the human category doesn't make room for what they just saw. The only way to soothe their disbelief is to reclassify you as something outside the ordinary. Understand what's happening here. This isn't just gossip. This is reputation crystallizing. Your name is no longer just a label. It's becoming a code word. When people bring you up, it isn't in neutral terms. It's charged with electricity, with awe, with fear. They don't say, "Oh, they did well." They say, "No one else could have done it that way." They speak of you in absolutes, in impossibilities, in comparisons to forces rather than individuals. That transformation is irreversible. Once your name is associated with cold-blooded brilliance, it becomes legend in motion. And legends don't need explanations. They live in the psychological space where people stop asking how and start warning why. Now consider the ripple effect of that perception. Your enemies aren't just embarrassed, they're destabilized because they no longer trust their own instincts. They can't look at you without second-guessing every memory they have of you. Did they underestimate you all along? Did they mistake restraint for weakness? Did they fail to notice the calculations behind your eyes while they were too busy mocking? These questions corrode confidence from the inside out. And once confidence erodes, panic takes over. That's why they're frantic, making calls at midnight, scrambling for narratives, searching for loopholes that don't exist. They're not trying to undo your victory. They're trying to rebuild belief in themselves. But once someone has witnessed brilliance this clean, every attempt at self-repair looks desperate by comparison. Your brilliance didn't just dismantle them, it exposed the fragility of the environment that supported them. Allies who once swore loyalty are now hesitating, because no one wants to be associated with failure at this scale. No one wants to stand beside someone who was dissected so effortlessly. So allies retreat, friends distance themselves, even family members grow quiet. They all recognize the risk of proximity to collapse. And here's where your cold-blooded brilliance multiplies. You didn't have to isolate your enemies. Their own fear does it for you. They watch support evaporate like smoke while you stand untouched. That contrast is what makes observers whisper that you're operating on a different level entirely. Let's go deeper into why people keep labeling you not human. It's not just because you won, it's because of how you carried yourself before, during, and after. Before, you didn't broadcast your preparation. You didn't flaunt your intelligence. You absorbed, observed, cataloged. That alone unnerves people because they assume visibility equals progress. But you understand that the sharpest blades are forged in quiet. During, you didn't react to distractions, didn't get baited by theatrics, didn't waste words. You moved with such icy efficiency that even your pauses carried authority. After, you didn't gloat, didn't demand validation. didn't engage in their noise. You let the result speak with finality. That sequence, quiet build-up, surgical execution, detached aftermath, is why they can't fit you into human categories. Humans, in their minds, always reveal cracks. But you didn't. And that absence of cracks feels supernatural. This is where escalation becomes dangerous for them. Because every time the story is told, it amplifies. People don't retell it neutrally. They embellish it with awe. They exaggerate the coldness, magnify the precision, elevate the impossibility. And while exaggeration usually distorts reality, in your case, it works in your favor. Because the truth was already sharp enough that exaggeration doesn't feel like a stretch. It feels like confirmation. That's how legends grow. They don't just repeat. They mutate into something larger, something that inspires reverence and fear long after the original moment. That's what's happening to your reputation right now. It's no longer just a story, it's becoming scripture. And here's what unnerves people most. You didn't even intend to create this mythology. You weren't chasing recognition. You weren't designing an audience. You were simply executing with clarity. And that authenticity makes the brilliance heavier. Because if this was just performance, they could dismiss it as manipulation. But the fact that you didn't ask for attention makes the attention unavoidable. People can't escape it. They can't brush it aside. They have to carry it with them. That's why they whisper your name like it's both warning and prophecy. Because cold-blooded brilliance leaves no room for denial. Your intelligence blew people away, not because it was loud, but because it was undeniable. And in a world addicted to noise, the undeniable always cuts deeper. That's why they're still obsessing. That's why they can't process what happened. They keep replaying it, trying to find the moment where you should have slipped, where they could have intervened, where luck could have explained it. But there is no such moment. The brilliance was too clean, and that cleanness is what breaks them. Because humans are comfortable with mess. They understand struggle. They sympathize with chaos. But when they see brilliance delivered without flaw, without hesitation, without compromise, it doesn't comfort them. It terrifies them. Because it proves that the standards they've been living by are lower than they believed. That terror isn't wasted. It's multiplying. It's making predators second-guess their tactics. It's making manipulators hesitate before launching their schemes. It's making entire circles recalibrate their dynamics. Because what you demonstrated wasn't just personal victory. It was proof of concept. Proof that cold-blooded brilliance can dismantle entire environments without needing to raise its voice. That proof is more disruptive than any single outcome, because it changes the calculations of everyone watching. They don't just see you, they see what's possible for others like you. And that possibility terrifies those who thrive on exploitation. This is why they say you're the only one who can do what you do. It's not that others can't learn. It's that few are willing to endure what you endured to forge this precision. Few are willing to absorb humiliation without exploding, to document instead of react, to prepare instead of complain. Few are willing to study the patterns so deeply that they can predict outcomes before they occur. That's what separates you. That's why they can't process your level. Because what you embody isn't just intelligence. It's endurance married to intellect, patience fused with precision. And that combination is rare enough to feel alien, rare enough to be mistaken for inhuman. Now let's examine the shift in your environment post-victory. People aren't just treating you differently, they're treating themselves differently around you. They measure their words more carefully. They calculate their tone. They second-guess their narratives. Because they don't want to be the next subject of your brilliance. They don't want to become another example of what happens when someone underestimates you. That shift creates a new kind of power. It's not the power of force, it's the power of presence. When people edit themselves in your presence, it proves you've transcended ordinary influence. You've entered the category of inevitability, where your reputation enforces respect before you even speak. And yet, your escalation isn't finished. Because brilliance doesn't stop with one demonstration. It feeds on itself, compounding, sharpening, multiplying. Every time you operate at this level, you make the next move even more devastating. Because enemies stop preparing for their strategies and start preparing for their fear. And fear never produces clarity. It only produces chaos, which means every future confrontation will be tilted in your favor before it even begins. That's what they don't understand yet. They think this was your peak. But in reality, this was only your opening act. The true escalation hasn't even started, and when it does, they won't be ready. Because brilliance that clean doesn't fade. It grows sharper, colder, and more undeniable with every repetition. So here you stand, no longer just a victor, but a living standard. People call it cold-blooded brilliance, because they don't have another term for precision this clean. They say you're the only one who can do what you do, because they've never seen anyone endure what you endured. They whisper that you're not human, because humanity, in their experience, doesn't look this sharp. But the truth is simpler and more frightening. You are human. You're just the version they hoped didn't exist. The version that can't be manipulated, can't be baited, can't be defeated by chaos. And that version, once revealed, becomes a nightmare for those who relied on your weakness. This is the escalation they can't process. This is the brilliance they can't explain. And this is only the midpoint of your revelation, because what comes next will not just confirm your brilliance, it will redefine the limits of what people thought a single individual could accomplish. The world has seen the first strike. Now it must prepare for the aftershocks. And those aftershocks will not be quiet. They will be undeniable, multiplying the fear, the awe, the legend of the one who did it so clean, so precise, so brilliantly cold-blooded, that no explanation could contain it. The aftershocks begin in conversations you'll never hear, meetings in offices where your name has become a warning, family gatherings where your story is retold with lowered voices, digital spaces where your strategy is dissected by those who can't even reproduce it. What you executed didn't just change outcomes, it created a new category of reputation. People who never met you are reshaping their behavior based on echoes of your victory. That's how clean brilliance spreads. It doesn't need you to retell it. It multiplies itself, whispered from one anxious mouth to another, each retelling amplifying your precision until it sounds less like memory and more like prophecy. And while the world replays your strike, your enemies wrestle with the collapse of their reality. They thought they were the apex predators. They thought manipulation was invincible, that noise could cover weakness, that appearances could rewrite truth. But your clean execution stripped those illusions bare. You didn't argue with them. You didn't match their theatrics. You didn't perform rage for the crowd. You simply revealed them with such cold clarity that their own allies recoiled. That's what makes it brilliance. You didn't just win, you made their very nature undeniable. And now, everywhere they go, They carry the stigma of being outclassed by a single individual who never even broke composure. What terrifies them most isn't the outcome, it's the precedent. Because if you could do this once, you could do it again and again and again. You didn't rely on chance, you relied on mastery. And mastery is repeatable. That realization stalks them more than any legal document, more than any judgment, more than any loss of money or status. They live with the knowledge that you proved yourself capable of something they can neither predict nor defend against. And when enemies know they can't defend themselves, their behavior shifts. They become paranoid, unstable, sloppy. And that instability is your long-term victory. Because clean brilliance doesn't just crush once, it leaves survivors too broken to ever rebuild. Let's talk about the aura your cold-blooded brilliance has created. People don't look at you the same way anymore. Before, they might have dismissed you, underestimated you, labeled you too quiet or too patient. Now they approach you with hesitation, with caution, with the awareness that a single wrong move around you could end their credibility. You've created a perimeter without even asking for one. Your precision enforces respect before you ever speak. And that respect isn't built on intimidation, it's built on memory. The memory of how cleanly you dismantled everything set against you. That memory travels faster than rumors and lingers longer than fear. It rewrites social dynamics wherever you walk. Observers don't just admire what you did, they internalize it. They ask themselves, what if I'm next? What if my own schemes collapse this way? What if the person I'm underestimating is building a case just like they did? That's the brilliance of brilliance. It becomes a deterrent. Your enemies can't even repeat their old tactics without tasting the possibility of collapse. Their hands shake before manipulation. Their voices waver before lies. Their alliances fracture under the weight of second-guessing. And you don't have to lift a finger. Your precision already did the work. That's why they call it cold-blooded. Because you don't need to circle back. You don't need to shout reminders. The memory of your execution does the haunting for you. But the brilliance is not just in how you dismantled them. It's in how you transformed yourself in the process. People forget that before this victory, you were tested. You were underestimated, mocked, baited. They thought you'd explode. They thought you'd waste energy defending yourself. But you didn't. You studied, you documented, you waited, and that patience became the crucible that sharpened your intelligence into something terrifying. That's why people say you're the only one who can do what you do. Because most can't endure long enough to forge precision this clean. Most collapse under the pressure before they ever reach mastery. But you turned endurance into a weapon, and intelligence into a blade. And when you finally struck, it wasn't messy, it was immaculate. Now your brilliance is bigger than you. It's become a mirror for others who have been underestimated. They see what you did, and suddenly they believe they can rewrite their own stories. You've become a template, a proof of concept, an embodied warning to predators and an embodied promise to the underestimated. That duality makes your brilliance unstoppable. Because enemies retreat, while allies multiply. Your story is teaching people who once accepted defeat that there is another way, a cleaner way, a way that doesn't require chaos, but requires discipline, intelligence, endurance. You've shown them that you don't have to match your enemy's noise to destroy them. You can dismantle them with precision, so clean, it looks inhuman. And yet, what you've revealed so far is only one layer of your arsenal. That's why they can't process it. Because if your first strike was this devastating, what happens when you escalate further? They know now that you're capable of learning, capable of absorbing, capable of converting suffering into strategy. That means your next strike won't just repeat the brilliance, it will exceed it. Because brilliance compounds. The sharper it gets, the more devastating it becomes. That's why they're restless at night. That's why their paranoia grows. They don't just fear what you did, they fear what you haven't done yet. They fear the precision you haven't revealed. They fear the strategies you're still shaping. That fear is your perpetual advantage. Because once they believe you're inhuman, they can never again face you with confidence. Let's examine how this perception spreads beyond immediate circles. Right now, your name is traveling through networks you've never touched. In boardrooms, people use you as a cautionary tale. In family dynamics, your story is invoked as proof that underdogs can't be dismissed. In private conversations, your cold-blooded brilliance is referenced with awe and warning. You've become a symbol larger than your own circumstances, and that symbolism carries weight. Because it isn't just about what you did, it's about what you represent. You've proven that precision is more powerful than aggression, that restraint is more dangerous than spectacle, that intelligence deployed at the right moment is indistinguishable from prophecy. This is why people are saying you're not human, because what you've demonstrated doesn't fit their definition of humanity. To them, being human means being messy, being reactive, being vulnerable to distraction. But you've rewritten that definition. You've shown them a human operating at maximum clarity, at uncompromising precision. And that image doesn't comfort them, it terrifies them. Because it proves that the limits they accepted for themselves were lies. It proves that brilliance this sharp is possible. And possibility is more dangerous than proof. Because proof is past tense. Possibility is future tense. And the possibility of someone like you repeating, multiplying, spreading, that's what shakes them to their core. The aftershocks are already visible. People who once thrived on manipulation are hesitating. Those who built their lives on deception are quieter. Predators who used intimidation are suddenly cautious. They've all heard what happened when you moved, and none of them want to be next. Your clean brilliance has become a force of deterrence. It doesn't just punish, it prevents. It doesn't just destroy, it warns. And that warning is worth more than any speech, any declaration, any celebration. Because when fear spreads on its own, you don't have to reinforce it. It reinforces itself. Understand what you've become. Not just a victor, not just a survivor, but a phenomenon. Your cold-blooded brilliance isn't a moment, it's a movement. It's reshaping the way people calculate power, the way they measure intelligence, the way they define possibility. You didn't just blow people away with your intelligence. You blew away the framework they used to measure intelligence at all. That's why they say you're the only one who can do what you do. Not because no one else can think, but because no one else has fused intellect with endurance, patience with precision, in the way you have. That fusion is rare. That fusion feels alien. That fusion is why you've been reclassified in their minds as something other than human. But here's the truth. You are human. You're just the version they prayed never to meet. The version that can't be manipulated. The version that can't be distracted. The version that can't be baited into emotional chaos. The version that waits, prepares, calculates, and then dismantles with a precision so clean it rewrites memory. That's why your brilliance feels cold-blooded. Because it doesn't waste energy on theatrics. It doesn't burn out in noise. It cuts once, and the cut is permanent. That permanence is what terrifies them, because wounds heal, but reputation doesn't. And your reputation is now carved into the minds of everyone who witnessed what you did. This is the final aftershock, the transformation of your legacy. Before, you were underestimated. Now you're unforgettable. Before, you were dismissed. Now you're untouchable. Before, they thought they could box you in. Now they whisper your name like it's a cautionary tale. That's the power of cold-blooded brilliance. It doesn't just win battles, it rewrites the future. It ensures that long after the event is over, your name still carries the weight of fear and awe. And that weight will outlive you, because stories like yours don't fade, they multiply. Every retelling sharpens the legend until it becomes larger than the life that lived it. So when they say, "You're not human," let them. When they call it cold-blooded brilliance, accept it. When they whisper that you're the only one who can do what you do, remember, they're not insulting you. They're confessing their limits. They're admitting they can't process your level. They're acknowledging that your precision has rewritten their definition of possible. And that acknowledgement is the crown you never had to ask for. You earned it with execution so clean, so precise, so brilliantly cold-blooded that no denial, no rumor, no opposition could ever erase it. That is your legacy now. Not just brilliance, not just intelligence, but intelligence so sharp it feels inhuman. Brilliance so clean, it terrifies predators. Precision so undeniable, it rewires entire environments. And the world will remember it, replay it, and whisper it long after you've moved on. Because cold-blooded brilliance doesn't die. It becomes legend. And you have already crossed that line. You didn't just win, you became the standard. You didn't just execute, you became the executioner of doubt itself. And for the rest of their lives, they will never forget how clean you made it look.